Good afternoon. Anybody there?
I'm here, Daryl Cruz.
Yeah, hi Daryl.
Yeah, I'm here too.
Hi Steve.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Yep. Yep.
So is Katz Rodney or somebody else?
That's Rodney.
Hi, Rodney.
Yeah. Good evening, Rob.
Hey Rodney, how are you?
Good. How
Good.
about you?
Excellent. Doing very well. Let's see, the other Rodney should be on here shortly. You've been quite busy with replies from others with the updated version going out there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you want to find where the bugs are, just release it.
Roger that. Yeah, have a bunch of us use it and see what we can find, kind of deal. I can I can tell you we've run, I think, 4 sessions in the last 11 days for about a total of maybe 9 hours, and we've really had no issues at all.
Okay.
It's been fantastic. I mean, this is the first true CTC sessions that we've run, and it's just been amazing. We've had, 6 to 8 people out on, running trains on the layout simultaneously, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Well, good.
The code you sent us there, the beta version of tests with where we were having issues with the meats, you solved that problem. And like I said, we've had basically no issues at all. But JMRI froze once. We had multiple people running stop signals at the same time, and there was an issue with the switch, and it was like all simultaneously, and JMRI froze. So it was the only time we've had to reboot. But nothing on Cat's end has been acting up at all. It's been awesome.
Well, that's good to hear.
We're so satisfied. I'm so happy with the way everything's running right now. And I went back and watched Herding Cats. I forget what it was, 109, where you did the automated um, startup
Oh,
items and whatnot. And I got that working too. So any of our guys can just double click on desktop icon and everything loads. And one thing that you would always mention was the startup procedure and how JMRI would deal with that and whatnot. Everything's working correctly. And it maybe takes 10 seconds for everything and it all comes in correctly. So we're thrilled, absolutely thrilled.
yeah, I'll bring you all up to date. Daryl and I have exchanged some emails back and forth about basically route signaling,
Yeah, yep.
and I've got a release out that I've given to Daryl, and he's going to do some testing of it for me.
Okay. Yeah, it's been an interesting thread reading all the posts going back and forth there.
Yeah, well, I think looking back at what happened is I've looked at my design notes, and in there, my design notes warned me about what I did. I should have paid attention to them. So
Mhm.
basically, I focused on trying to get the speed signaling working all the way out to a five signal stuff, and five signals of sequence and progression, and it just totally screwed up the route signaling. So
Gotcha.
Well, I'm not a usual participant. in this chat or video or what that goes on. I think it's once a month, right?
Right.
But anyway, I jumped on today just because I wanted to thank Rodney for the extra effort to make the routing work for modern layouts. And one of the things that I always wanted to have on the layout was the double yellow, which for the Union Pacific means approach diverging, which is other things on other railroads. I think Norfolk Southern and CSX have different things. I think it means like advanced median or advanced normal for them. But anyway, was really happy to see the double yellow signals work for the Union Pacific on my layout, and so I just wanted to thank Rodney, man, for the extra effort that you put in uh, to make it all kind of fit together. And I've been down there working on it. I haven't had any operating sessions yet since I just got the file today from Rodney. But I was down there looking at everything, and everything definitely checks out. So thank you so much, Rodney. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What were some of the other issues that were um, addressed with this update?
Yeah. Um, One of the big ones had been sitting around for quite a while. And actually, since I went to version 3, is if you get, when you click on a signal, um, that'll send out a message to the field basically saying change the signal. And then the icon will go into an indeterminate type state until it gets a response back.
Hmm.
Well, while it's in that particular situation, it's possible to click on I'm sorry, I meant click on the turnout and get it into a state where it's not, normal. It's not diverging, and it's
Gotcha.
possible to click on the signal and have a route go through it, and that should have been blocked.
Right.
And that's been around for through several years, and I didn't know about it until I saw it at an operating session.
Right.
So I got that fixed, I hope.
Good.
Um, and Also noticed that when running your layout, Daryl, I noticed that we're getting a bunch of messages having to do with buttons and stuff like that. And so and they were debug messages that never got removed. So I got rid of those. So you should see a little
Oh,
bit
cool.
cleaner system console coming out of it. Um, I haven't seen anybody use the buttons before, but it looks like you did quite a bit with them. I hope
That was
that's
mainly because I didn't want to. I was trying to figure out uh, trying to think of the name for it, the routes.
hmm
So I have a lot of my like my yard throat and yard switches where you push a button, uh, and then just by pushing that button, it'll route all the
hmm
turnouts.
hmm
And I went over the manual again and again. I never quite figured out how uh, like I see where you put the turnouts in there, to line it up for a route, but I could never figure out how you put in the button or the actuator, whatever um, uh, you know block detection or whatever that for me it's a push button on the fascia, for the yard operators, and then for the dispatcher it's just a button on the screen.
hmm
So I have my throats and so forth all still run by railroad and company. um, so I don't know if you have any advice on how to set up routes. I know I see how you put in all the turnouts. I never figured out how you put in the button that actuates it.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Um, you kind of in this context by route you mean the equivalent of like clicking on a icon or actually throwing a turnout.
Well, so for the dispatcher on the staging yard, I wanted there to be something on the panel that he could, click it, and then that would line up all the turnouts
Mm-hmm.
rather than, it's a 12 track, yard. So I didn't want to really have him have to bother with clicking every single turnout. So I wanted that to be on the dispatcher's panel, but then I also, if I was going to have the routing done on the yard, that somehow pick up the pushing the button on the fascia for the
Yeah.
yard operators.
Yeah.
And I have set up for the push button actuates the an input on one of the SE8Cs.
Mm-hmm.
They have I think up to 8 inputs. I also have some Team Digital. Uh, let's see, the 16C or whatever it's called. But anyway, the inputs come in over local net, and I never could figure out how to include the inputs into the routing.
Okay, you've got a push button on your fascia.
Right.
Okay, what you might look at then is uh, um, turn on your local net monitor
Hmm.
and push a push button and
Right.
see what it generates in terms of a local
Sure.
net message.
Right. Yeah. I have all that information. I
Yeah,
know what I know the address of each button.
yeah,
I just don't know how to put that address into the route so
yeah,
that when it
yeah.
like
Okay, so
what actually activates the route. That's when I like I said, I just saw where you could put in the turnouts. Never could figure out, okay, how do you actuate the thing, if you know what that means,
okay,
if you
yeah,
know what I mean.
yeah. Okay, well, the way to think about it is that um, the push button generates something,
Right.
right? So it'll generate like a local net turnout or something like that.
It's an input, not a turnout. Let me take a look at my hold on a second. You guys can talk about something else while I'm
Yeah.
checking this out. Um, get my terminology correct. I really wasn't planning on getting into all this. Mainly wanted to just thank Rodney, but it would be cool if I could get all that into the cats because I mean, right now I load up the railroading company and it takes care of all that stuff, and then the cats does all the signaling and stuff.
Hmm.
All right, let's see here.
Now the push button is directly tied into like the SCHC.
Yes. So when you push the button on the LocoNet monitor, it comes up as it comes up as high and low.
Right.
The message is high and low. So it's a sensor address, not a turnout address, which is why I had a little bit of a hard time figuring
Hmm.
out how to put it into the route. I was thinking,
Hmm.
well, maybe you just put it in with the route, and when you activate the sensor, then the rest of the route would go. But I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to get that in there.
Hmm. Well, okay. So um, if the question is yeah, you get a if you look at the local net monitor, you get a wow, I can't think of it. Yeah, it's like a there were two of them. Yeah, it's been too long since I looked up. It can be a sensor, but that's okay
Right,
because what that means then is the trigger in the button is the sensor.
right,
So when the sensor hits the local net, that starts things happening. And so what you want to do is put that same sensor address into the button such that when the dispatcher hits the button, that dumps that sensor information onto the local net.
So, right. So, do you put the sensor address in the list with the turnouts
Um,
when you're in designer,
mhm,
the designer.
mhm.
Um, hold on a second. Let me open this up here a second. I didn't want to. I didn't want to take up all your time answering this question. I don't know if that's is this the type of thing you usually deal with on this Zoom meeting that you guys have?
Yep. This is the kind
Okay.
of thing we'll deal with. Somebody says, "How do I do such and such?"
Okay. So trying to look at finding where you put the routes in. That would be details.
Hmm.
Would it be under track ins, tracks, station,
Um,
picture, or button? I've done the button before, and that's how I kind of tie it in because I have my buttons, basically uh, to a sensor. I think it maybe I have it as a turnout or whatever, and then that actuates the route on the railroad and company.
okay. So the thing to do is go to details and then pull up the button thing.
Okay, hold on a second. All right, details button. Okay, got it.
You got the button window up?
Yep.
Okay. In the upper left corner, it talks about button trigger.
Right.
That can be a sensor, it can be a turnout, it can be a lot of different things. So
Now, is this what triggers the button or what the button triggers?
that's what the button triggers.
Okay. Let's see here. Details.
Well, actually, it works both ways.
Okay,
Um,
so I have one of the buttons set up already right now. It's the trigger is LT and it's address 201,
mhm,
and I have it. I didn't give it a username, but I have it to throw. So basically, when the dispatcher clicks it, it throws that button.
mhm,
Railroad and Company recognizes it and activates the route.
right.
So
That's
how do
you
I
want
get
to
the route? I mean, doesn't cats have the ability to have a route that's activated by a button?
you mean a JMRI route?
I thought there were routes on the designer.
Okay. The- Um,
Where did I see that? Maybe it
yeah,
was on
yeah,
JMRI.
yeah. Okay. In JMRI, you have turnouts, you
Mhm.
have sensors, you have routes, you have memory variables, you have reporters, and I think that's pretty much it. And any of those can go into that box.
Okay, so there isn't any actual routes in cats. Then it's all through JMRI.
Mm, okay, then there's also
I thought I
um,
saw some routes in
yeah,
cats.
it's what Katz calls a chain.
Calls what?
A chain.
Okay, right. That
Okay.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, so you'd have to create a chain, and the chain would have to, if so, for example, if you've got a ladder
Hmm.
and you want to click on it and you want it to set all these routes just by clicking on it, um, throw all these turnouts. In
Oh,
the
here you go,
chain, you
decoder
would put
chain.
the list of turnouts.
Okay, so I have open on my screen. I did the decoder. I went to devices.
Hmm.
Let's see. Let me look at this again. Yeah, so I went to devices and then I went to decoder chain.
Right.
So then it has add.
Yes,
and then I could see where you would add the turnouts, right?
right.
So where would you add the button that would activate this chain?
Okay. What you would do is the button window. Okay, when you do the add, right,
Hmm.
you're
Right,
going to get a number.
right.
Okay, and that's like the address of the chain.
Gotcha.
Okay, then what you need to do is okay. Well, first of all, the thing you'll have to do is go back to dispatcher to the main dispatcher panel of the devices
Hmm.
and go down to JMRI devices.
That okay? This is on designer, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so I'm in designer. I'm click on devices and then
you'll see
decoder
there's a
chain.
yeah, you will see there's an IC prefix.
Hold a second. Devices. So there's an ICE prefix?
IC.
Okay, where would I see that?
Alphabetically,
Oh, hold a second.
right under grapevine.
It's about 13 rows down.
Yeah,
So am I looking at the tables here? Is that what you're referring to? Because
okay.
there's a block table, signal table, points table, and route
Nope,
table.
nope,
Hold
nope. You
on
want to
one
go
second
up.
there. I'll bring it up. Let me get my video up here. I could show you.
Do you want me to bring my screen up?
And unfortunately, I don't think we've got that turned on.
Okay.
Let me let me flip mine around here so you can be able to see my screen, or from my phone. Um, there you go. That's what I'm
Okay.
looking.
So I've seen that before.
If you see,
Um,
the IC is right here. It's that one.
so how do I get to that list? Go to the devices and then decoder chain.
No,
Uh,
JMI devices.
yeah,
OJMRI.
yeah.
I
So
got.
if you go
I,
devices and then here's
I have to
GMI
go to.
devices, and then it'll bring that up.
So I go to. I'm on the JMRI CTC panel. It says, and is that one of the tables under tools?
No, no. This
No, this
is
is in designer.
yes.
Okay, this is in design. Okay, well, that's where I was. All right. I'm sorry. This is so. Let me get back. So, where's the designer? All right. So I'm on designer. So take me step by
Okay.
step, how I get to that.
Yes.
All right. Yep. Go to devices.
Okay. I clicked on devices.
Okay. Go down to GMRI devices.
Oh, I see it. I'm sorry.
That's
Duh.
it.
There it
That's
is.
right.
Okay.
And then it's about like the 13th one down. It's right, I see right there.
Catch layout items. That's not checked. So I just have to check it.
Yes.
Okay. And then, okay. Then I accept. Any others that need to be checked?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
No.
Now,
Okay.
while you're there, let's talk about another one under JMI devices.
All right. I'm there.
Okay. Look for where is look for the IO, which is like several down.
The route manager.
Yes,
Got it.
you
Checked.
can check that as well.
Okay.
Okay. So you got both those checked. Okay. Now let's go back and do your details
Okay.
and your button.
So am I still in the JMRI devices?
No, no, you did the accept.
Okay. Oh, then go back to details. Gotcha.
Okay.
Right.
and pick a button.
All right.
Okay. Then now if you do your button trigger,
Mm-hmm.
you should see um IC and IO.
Right. I see them.
Okay. And then you'd put your where the in the address field, you'd put the number of the chain if you do
Gotcha.
IC, or the
All right.
number of the uh, GMRI route if you did a route.
So the route has an address of one. The first one
Yes.
is one, right?
Yeah.
And then I would give it a username then also.
Yeah.
So then when I add the turnouts to that route, then this button would trigger that route.
Yep.
Cool. That makes sense. Believe it or not. Now, what about so let's say I want a local net sensor input to trigger a route. So when the yard people are trying to throw the turnouts for the yard,
Mm-hmm.
that it'll recognize the input high or low and then activate the route.
Mm-hmm. So you can put a sensor in there.
Ah, so that would be under put a sensor on a button, or
Sure. Yep.
but that wouldn't would that then so if the button would appear on the dispatcher's panel and then also receive input from the from the local net.
Yeah. So basically, the way to think about it is that now that gets back to my question: how is your button? Is it wired directly into the SCHC?
Yes.
Okay. And so then when you push the button, that
Hmm.
dumps a sensor onto the local net, right?
Right. If you're in the monitor, it'll say local net address such and such high.
Right.
And then when you release the button, it says, such and such address low.
Right. And now currently Railroad and Company is looking for those sensors.
Right.
Okay. So what would happen then is when you push the button, it would generate the sensor message to go out on the local net, and
Right.
that would then trigger Railroad and Company.
Well, I want to, so can I set up the chain? Can I set up chains for the, for the yard also and have
Yes.
that
Yes.
activated off the fascia?
Yep.
So I'm not
Um,
sure. So where can you add a sensor to on designer somewhere that would activate the chain,
um, what you'd
or do
have
you
to
use?
do, what you probably have to do is throw in some logics or something like that,
Okay,
saying when I get this sensor, then activate this chain.
gotcha. Okay, I can do that. I've done the so if this sensor goes high, then activate chain number 15.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Or
Okay.
or or you could do a Jamurai route. And I've not played with them, but
Hmm.
that might work.
And not even do any of the chains on cats.
You could do the chains. The I hesitate because I've tried doing basically you want to do a diode matrix, right? That's basically what you're trying to do.
Right. I don't physically have a diode
Right,
matrix, but
right. You're doing one in software.
right.
And the problem I've had with it with something like that is, and it gets down to the way that JMRI works in terms of if you've activated, okay, if you have, say, a turnout or a chain or a sensor or whatever set for, say, the high state,
Hmm.
and you try to hit it again, then it needs to go to the low state before it'll take off.
Right.
And so there's some sequencing involved in terms of clearing things up
Right.
to make it work right.
Gotcha.
And that applies to all of the things in the chain.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll
So
have to give
often the
that. I'll give that a try.
yeah,
Sounds pretty straightforward.
and so things will yeah. So sometimes what'll happen is you'll hit it and then nothing will happen
Right.
because it has something has to be reset.
Right. Cool. Well, thanks again for everything, Rodney. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
I definitely like cats a lot better than Railroad and Company. It just definitely is more attuned to what we're doing here in North America compared to what they do in Europe.
Hmm.
And so I bought cats like in 2003 and for like $75, and now it's like $800, and they want all extra money for upgrades and stuff, and so definitely makes me appreciate all the stuff that you do for
Hmm.
this software. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, my little limited experience with Railroad Company is it's a nice product, but
It is. It is.
mhm.
It's definitely different. They do um, the whole logic is a lot different. It's more of a like for each signal head, you have certain conditions um, that if all these conditions are met, then the light will be green, and if all the conditions are met, then the light's going to be flashing yellow or whatever. And then you can put in an or, so it could be more than it's just a whole different way of doing it. But you definitely have to do your own logic. I think it's
Yeah,
kind of like what people do when they use J, because you can do a dispatcher's panel just on JMRI,
sure.
and then you do, I think, a lot of the same, probably a lot of the same things where conditions on the layout, determine what the signal head is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
Gerald,
Daryl,
that's what we use with do for LCC. We use LCC for our hardware,
Right.
and logic works the same way. If this happens, you know, um, if the variable's true, then this aspect gets displayed. If it's false, then this aspect's displayed, and that's the general gist of it. But
Right.
ours is all in the nodes under the layout, so
Hmm.
we don't have to have a computer on. But
Right.
yeah, it's the same principle is what you're doing.
Now you can use cats with LCC also, can't?
Yep,
On
that's what we're
GM.
using. Yep, that's what we've been working on for seems like forever. And yeah, we just got our um, the whole layout under LCC back in June.
Cool.
All the we have 6 different zones with they have anywhere from 4 to 6 nodes on them. So the
Hmm.
control of our um, occupancy and all switch indications, switch controls, and then all the signal wires and whatnot. And then, yeah, we've been able to integrate it into cats, and
Nice.
it works like a champ. It's it's fantastic.
Now what layout is this?
It's a private layout just outside of Buffalo, New York.
Oh, cool.
And my buddy Rodney, the other Rodney who's on here right now, he did all the hardware for it. I do all the software for it. So
Well, it took me a while after doing the logic the way that Railroad Company has it. It kind of took me a while to get my mind around the signal templates
mhm.
that cats uses, because I was like, wanting to be more involved in the details of the logic. And but now
Mhm.
now that I know how it kind of all works together, it actually is a lot easier to
Yeah,
set up. Um, not to deal with all the different logic. So
we have one template on Designer. That's it for
really,
the whole layout. Because we use the hold only feature that Rodney created a few years
Mhm.
ago, and it works with Jammer so Cats doesn't do the logic.
Right.
LCC does all the logic. So all Cats is looking at is the aspects coming from the signal mass table in JMRI.
So
So
the logic is in the hardware.
it's in the nodes under the layout. Yep.
No, when you say nodes, is that like software?
It's like a mini. It's almost like a mini computer. It's a product that RR Circuits
Right.
sells.
So
And
you
we
have to so you have to write a program for that node.
it no Dick Bronson, who owns RR Circuits.
Hmm.
It's pretty. The UI is pretty good,
Hmm.
and it's not like writing code. It's a lot of
Gotcha.
filling in blanks and
Mhm.
drop down menus and stuff like that. The biggest thing is making sure you know what every single wire is on the layout. Keep it, have an astute
Right.
organization,
Right.
which my friend on here, Rodney, and we know every single wire and what it
Mhm.
does, and I have spreadsheets for all that stuff, and
Gotcha.
it's a lot of record keeping, but we've been able to troubleshoot things, and be able to pin it down real fast because
Cool.
we have it very organized. So it's been wonderful
Right.
system. We started on it over 4 years ago, and we just got it fully implemented here in the last month or two.
Mhm. Cool.
So
Well, I know a lot of people are going to the LCC. Sounds like a, cool, up to date technology.
it is, and like for us, the biggest thing is we don't have to have a computer on to run the layout if we don't
Gotcha.
want to.
Right.
If we don't have enough guys for to have a dispatcher, and we just run under ABS automatic block.
Got you. Right.
Yeah, and
Cool.
the lot the with the nodes in the field are basically like what the prototypes have in the bungalows at the
Right.
signals. That's pretty much exactly what it is, and with my friend Rodney on here and I, we're pretty astute with the way the prototype does it. So we've gotten it to where it's pretty much
Mhm.
exactly mimics the prototype. So
Nice.
it's been a long process to get there, but it's been very rewarding.
Well,
And
I've been using the those Digitrax SE8Cs for ever since they first came out. I first started doing signaling in 2005, and actually I used I can't think what it was, this old circuit board that was kind of like the one by Bruce Chubb, but it was by a
mhm.
different
CMRI.
guy. Rich Wayan was his name. Um, but anyway, then I not too long after that I got the SE8Cs, and they're great boards, for um, as many signal heads as you can do off of one board, and then having the turnouts and then also the inputs. Definitely was a for what they were uh, for what they were charging for it was a lot better than what the replacement was. Has, I think, half as many signal heads and costs more than the SE8Cs. So I'll
Yeah,
probably
they seem
just
to be
stick with
very,
them.
very popular.
Yeah, I've I've this is my last layout, and I'm gonna be 70 pretty soon. I'm not sure if I want to change everything over to LCC at any time soon, but it
No,
sounded like a good deal.
yeah, no, understood it. If you know Digitrax inside and out, it sounds
Right.
like as well as you do, don't change.
Actually,
It-
I use a Digitrax for the SEHCs, and then I have this Team Digital. I don't know if we remember that company they don't
no,
make
I
it
don't.
anymore. They made these really nice stationary decoders that were local net compatible. So I have a bunch of those
Mhm,
that just keep working. But I use the ESU Ecos for the command station, and
gotcha.
I really like that because it incorporates Railcom, and it
Hmm.
has the reporting back of the engine numbers. And on my experience on
Hmm.
railroad company and also on cats is that the as a train would go around, if you did switching or whatever, the software would lose track of where the train was. It would start out, the train, because I always wanted to have the not only is a block lit up, for the for the block, but you also have the engine number, so the dispatcher knows,
Hmm.
okay, that block is occupied and this train is there. And
Right, right.
both railroad company and CATS can do train tracking through the software. But my experience is that
Hmm.
if you do any switching or if things get complicated, then the software will lose track of where the train is. And so I really like the Railcom because as it moves around the layout, if the software does lose it, then it can reestablish where it is as it continues to move across the layout. So definitely has
Hmm.
made the train tracking pretty much 100% accurate, which definitely helps for the op sessions, especially for that dispatcher. Um, so I really
Do
like.
you
Go ahead.
do you use JMRI ops?
What do
Do
you?
you use
No, I
Operations Pro
don't.
or no?
No, no.
Okay.
I
I
wrote my
just
own.
want to. Is it,
I wrote my
go ahead.
own operating sessions. I have a software program. I wrote it in QBasic, of all
Okay.
things, which is
Hmm.
like talk about old technology. But I taught middle school back in the '80s, and taught my kids how to do basic. And this is when we had the Apple IIs, and so forth in the classrooms. But I taught the kids how to do basic. I learned it myself, and then I started saying, hey, I could use this to kind of keep track of where all the cars are, and then
Hmm.
use randomization to decide which cars go where. Um, so it's random it'll be random, but within the parameters of the program. So you put a hopper car where it's supposed to go and a gondola car anyway. So I did that in the '80s, and I've still been doing it. And so I wrote this program specifically for my layout that generates switch list and manifest and everything for every train and so forth. So I showed I showed the program to AI once and said, "Hey, can you?" Because I'm not a professional programmer at all. I just
Hmm.
got was self
Right.
taught, and I just gave it to AI and said, "Can you make any sense of this and redo it as a you know up to date program that a software engineer would write and so forth?" And he said, "Oh yeah, we can do that. You know how AI talks. Oh sure,
Yeah.
Daryl, that
Yep.
will be. We can definitely do that. This is right up our alleys and stuff." And so they tried to redo it, and it never worked. It never ever worked. So they could not figure out my programming style, which I don't think anybody else has the same programming style. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of appreciation for people like Rodney who know how to program,
Same.
and
I went to
that's
college. I went to college for computer science, so I dabbled in BASIC in high school and then did
Right.
COBOL and
Right.
C++ in college. So
Right.
God bless Rodney for for creating cats, because
Right.
it ain't
Right.
easy. And being able, the biggest thing for him is being able to integrate all of our systems and all these different versions of JMRI and
Right.
making it all work at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is amazing to me that he's been
Yeah.
able to figure that out.
Right.
It's because it's extremely difficult.
Well, then he's doing it, just as a service to the community.
Yes.
I
Yep.
mean, he could probably, sell this,
Yep.
and make some profit off of it. So definitely
Right.
big appreciation for all that he does. This all started with Pat Lana. I don't know if you know Pat.
No.
Pat was the um, he had the original layout, right? Rodney, that Cats was written for.
Yep.
The Krandic. See,
Yep.
Krandic, automatic train
System.
system.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where the name came from. But anyway, Pat and I were we operated together when he lived in Kansas City and I lived in Independence, and we would get together and run trains.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I first heard of CADs probably around 2007 thereabouts, and
yeah,
didn't really understand it at all.
right.
Very much so, and nothing until, and then always hit it in like the back of my head, but until my buddy started designing our layout over here in
Mhm.
like 2012, 2013, it kind of
Mhm.
came back into my head. And then, we haven't gotten into the signaling portion until 2022, but I
Right.
knew that's definitely what we wanted to use.
Right.
And it just, timing's been impeccable for us. Rodney put out the big update in 2022, and it was right when we started this signaling project. So
Cool.
it's been a godsend for us. For sure.
How big's your layout?
Rodney, what size? It's about 40 by 30, and it's like a T.
Cool.
It's not like a T shape. It's hard to explain, but our mainline run is 670 feet, and
Nice. Is
we
it
got
two levels?
no, but it kind of sort of is. It's
Right.
Rodney, can you explain? You can explain it better than me. You're the one who built it, not me.
Yeah, it's actually one level, the railroad. It's mainly one level. I mean, but there's grades and all that. There's as it progresses up for anywhere
Mhm.
from the ground level being 0, it can go up to 12 inches higher than 0, and it's just
Gotcha.
overpass, underpass, and it also goes to 12 inches below 0, where it enters a pretty automated staging yard that we have.
Right.
It's fairly not really automated, but it's a pretty well high speed staging yard where you don't have to screw around going in there.
Right. So,
But it's as far as some people would consider, they wouldn't like it because the railroad laps back on itself several times. In order to get more length of a main line, it's basically a single track railroad, but we'll stack the single tracks alongside each other. It appears to be double track, yet
right.
it looks funny on the layout because
Gotcha.
we put an automatic signal in, and one automatic alongside is 12, and the other one right alongside of it on the same bracket is 42. So
that doesn't make sense.
well, that's because it's two single tracks,
Right.
and
Right.
you come back
Gotcha.
by it. But when you look at it on the CATS or the dispatcher display, it looks logical, like a single track railroad, and there's trains running all over the place, But
sounds like fun.
Oh, it is. Did you talk, Rob? Did you talk to Rodney at all about how good the thing worked, or yet? Or
yes,
no?
yeah. Before I mentioned it to him before you got on.
Yeah, because I was about 7-8 minutes late. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I told him our success we've been having with the version that he sent us. So
yeah,
and how much we've been running and haven't had any issues with it.
not really. I mean, even that one, we wouldn't. I don't even think we'd consider it a crash, but it was like there was like multiple things that went wrong at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I told him. It was...
Yeah, like 2 or 3 stop signals being run. Dispatcher multi-clicking on switches. It was a pretty extreme thing at one time.
Right.
So
So do you guys ever incorporate the network, the train stat network? Network?
Not yet. That's something down the road I plan
Mhm.
on trying to do, but right now, not the case.
Right.
Here's a picture of the layout. I own.
Hold on. I gotta get back to the page here.
Okay.
Where am I here? All right, go ahead. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like you like this signal bridge right here, it's actually two separate interlockings.
Gotcha.
And you can see like the panels down below, and that's when ABS operation is active. The operators can throw the switches, but otherwise, when it's under CTC, all the panels are dark and it's obviously dispatcher
Right.
controlled. But
Cool.
yeah, it loops like up and over each other and whatnot. Like what Rodney said, it's for a maximum mainline run.
So does
So
that go around to the left very far? I see a guy standing there that you can only see
yeah,
half.
it wraps all the way around behind me and
Hmm.
comes out like over here.
Gotcha.
But
Cool.
and
then
then
it goes into this cove over here and it comes back all the way across and then
Nice.
loops around and it comes back down. And yeah, it goes like all over the place.
So where's all the scenery?
Oh, we're like the ultimate plywood Pacific. We won't see
Are
scenery
you planning
for
on doing a scenery at some point in time?
it probably like 10 years from now if we get that far.
There's some people that they don't have any intention of doing scenery at all. They just want
I
the
mean,
tracks.
we're all I guess you could say we're all operators
Yeah.
and all we want to do are run trains. That's it. So like for us, the signaling
Mm,
project is like the ultimate
right.
goal.
Well,
And
you definitely operating is so much fun and it's really entertaining, but it
mhm.
is like 100% more entertaining when it's through scenery.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's designed to have the scenery put into it,
Right.
but we're the kind of like I what was the old ratio? I think it was like some people said like 10% track and 90% scenery to the
Right.
surface, something like that. Well, ours is just the opposite. It's just I would say,
Right.
it's okay to have a piece of scenery if we can't figure out how to put a track or an industry there.
Mhm.
And industries are sceneries, but they got to be
Right.
operational. So,
That's cool.
but it is all set up though that it can be scenic eventually. But
Yeah. Just
we
whenever.
we had an issue trying to get our cars to shunt properly with the resistor wheel sets,
Right.
and actually Ray Bailey, who's on here, suggested the pen. It was
Oh, really?
a nickel pen, like a laundry pen to put it on. Well,
Mhm.
the material was really good. And I used that, but it was a little hard to put on. So I got a hold of the company who made the pen, and they said, "Yeah, we sell it in bottles." So it's a nickel. 55 milliliters costs about $45, but you obviously get a lot of cars out of that. And
One solution to that, if because I know I have resistor wheel sets on everything, and um, so what a friend of mine, Mark Bridgewater, is building a huge 3,500 square foot layout down in Georgia. Uh, so what he's doing, he has all the block detection and everything like you normally would have, but then in all the control points, he has photo sensors, and just for the purpose of showing are there any cars in the control point, and then he's not doing any resistor wheels. He's just basically going to make sure the trailing car, it has resistor wheel sets and is weighted like crazy, and they make sure that one works, and then of course the engines are no problem, and then he relies on the photo sensors to uh, let the dispatching panel know that block is occupied.
All right.
So
Daryl, you came up with some great information there because I can readjust some ideas for you. My background is computer background, but
cool.
I've been doing trains since I was 2 years old. So, yeah. Here's the deal on resistor cars. I started doing those 25 years ago at a club in Pleasanton, California, because we wanted to know what the last car we had to have a caboose or a car with a resistor
Right.
at the end. Because yes, the engines cover the block protection, but we wanted to know the end one. But it doesn't tell you if the train broke apart technically. You know what I'm
Say
saying?
again?
It doesn't tell you whether the train broke apart technically. It
Gotcha.
just says that, oh, you've got a car occupied over there, and your engine's moving over here. It doesn't tell you where it broke, and that's why we had cameras. But when you went with the photocells, now what you do is you put Arduino in there, and you can count the cars and have
Sure.
a value somewhere loaded. This is,
Right.
there's some cloud stuff here,
Right.
magic that has to happen. But you, as a programmer, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You throw that in Arduino and it says, okay, I've had 30 cars go by. Oh, there goes the resistor.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, it could be like the what do they call the hot box detectors,
yes, yes,
that
the
train
train
was
detector.
passing,
Yes,
and
yes,
they always say how
hmm
many cars there are. That'd be cool to have
right, yeah,
have that tied into
yeah,
some kind of a voice activated, or not
hmm
necessarily voice activated, but they have a speaker that actually, when a train goes by, it actually counts
yeah,
the axles and so forth.
right.
That'd be cool.
What I'm looking at now is I love soundtracks. I know that you have um what's the other one?
ESU, Look Sound.
ESU, yeah, look sound. It doesn't matter. When you're doing an upgrade, what I don't like is the amount of space that's not in the engine.
Right.
And so, everybody was saying, oh, yeah, you can put a resistor in there. I was down to quarter and eighth watt resistors, wire round. And I'm going,
Mhm.
this is nuts. Before I got out of retirement, I was dealing with surface mount resistors. So
Sure.
I just surface mount right on the board and then tie onto the top of the surface mount resistor and send the wire off to the LED.
Mhm.
The same thing can happen across your wheels. You put a surface mount resistor there, and I think what I was saying with the pen is jumper the surface mount resistor to the side of the wheel and then jumper the other side to the
Mhm.
axle. I was just seeing it on one of the YouTubes for doing that.
Right.
But
No,
go
that's
ahead.
exactly what we did, Ray.
Cool.
Except we're using just paint in a bottle with a toothpick. We found that easier to control,
Right.
and
Right.
we got another couple people that go to the layout. They took control of that project, so we don't have to monkey with it. We were worried about it, but those guys are younger guys, and
Sure.
they put
Better
them on.
eyesight.
They put them
Yeah,
on like crazy. I mean, we do every axle on the cars. After experimentation, we made the decision to go with 22 Ks on the inside and 10 Ks on the outside, and everything shunts perfectly. And that's
right.
important for cats, especially when you're using stack commands, right, Rodney? It's important to have a good shunt.
So what do you do to keep the wheels clean? That's my yeah. I do the surface mount resistors also, and I have the paint comes in a
Give me a
bottle, and
second.
I use a toothpick and everything, and I can
Give
do
me,
one a minute. It goes
give
really
me a
fast.
second. Give me a second. Hold on.
But
I
so yeah, so like I can. It's one thing to clean engine wheels because you can spin them, but
Well,
it's always been a little more.
Well, what those guys have found, they take an X-Acto knife and they run it around the edge of the wheel, first of all, when they
Right,
put the resistors on, and they find debris that comes off almost like a light plastic coating. And
right. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that too. I want
all
something I
right.
can put on the track and just go back and forth, and then have the wheels
All
clean.
right.
You
All
know.
right. Here we go. History again. Right? 5 years ago, we were dealing with the wheel sets,
Mhm.
single wheel at the end of the train. Well, this layout is literally 120 feet long in a barn. Okay,
Mhm. In a
by about
barn.
30 in a barn. So
So
you're
are there still pigs and
uh,
cows in the barn still, or
they show up for about 16 days called a fair. It's actually at the Alameda County Fairgrounds.
still?
Okay, you can look it up and see it. You'll find that it's 120 feet long and about 35 feet wide, 5 levels in the middle. So yeah, there is a helix. Anyway,
Cool.
so Athearn didn't have nice smooth wheels way back in 1902. They have pitted augmented wheel sets for their
Gotcha.
locomotives. So they would pick up the dirt
Right.
tremendously. And that was one of the biggest bugs. I was also working in an industry where we were building custom power supplies and putting copper to copper, but not until we put silver plating over that copper to keep the corrosion from occurring
Gotcha.
because they were water cooled and you have air and all that craziness. Well, my tech guy ahead of me, he said, Ray, I'm using this product, putting it on batteries and making batteries last longer. I said, what is it? And he showed me the product and I went and got it. And I'm going to see if I can get my camera to focus. It's not going to. It's going to say,
It's
oh,
focusing on your face. There you go.
yeah, I know. So now I put it on my face. You see, it says R5 power.
Okay. Yep.
All
I see
right.
it.
All right. But years later, the company that made this has upgraded its development. They now call it D5. So you're going to look for D5 power
So
boost.
this is a solution of some sort.
This is a solution. Yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna
So stop for a second.
go ahead. I'm not done
So
either.
to me, there's there's a I mean there's a gazillion solutions out there of people who are pushing this is the best solution. What I want is something that you can set it on a track of some sort, and the
And you never have to
the
clean the track again.
the machine will spin the wheels and take the dirt off without me having to go with my X-Acto knife or
Oh yeah, no.
with a rag because
Right,
it's for your engines it's easy to
right,
clean the wheels because you just spin them,
right.
but for the
See,
resist
here's
for
the
the
other thing.
cars it's like what do it just
You're
takes.
jumping in the middle of the story. It's like you've opened up the comic book and said, "Oh, I don't like that color," and you closed the book.
So
That's no fair, Joel. That's no
so,
fair.
so this thing that you're promoting
Hang on, I'm not
is there
even
anything
done yet.
mechanical? Is there anything mechanical about it, or is it just this super duper solution that will take it off?
If I may,
All right,
put yourself on mute for a second. If I may.
you guys aren't going to want me back.
No, you're fine, Daryl. But
Okay,
listen in. So this solution,
yeah,
he tells me, oh, it's great on batteries. I'm going, okay. Now it's by CAIG, CAIG dot
mhm.
laboratories. You go to CAIG.com to find it. Now, I said, well, what will it do on a model train? After I've cleaned the wheels with all the little wire brushes and everything, they look really nice. Now what will it do? Well, first of all, the club said no more plastic wheels on the layout. Period.
Right. Well, that definitely is right.
Period.
Yeah, I think
Period.
everybody has that.
I would be all that no more plastic wheels. Period. So you got into steel wheels. So now you've cut your transfer of dirt quite a bit. What I found is that when I put this solution on the Athearn engines that were always pitted, that
Right.
would always pick up everything, they actually ran 20% better. They covered the, now wait a second, but what about those inclines? Ray, I'm telling you that I've got 5 levels and a helix. Not only did it transfer from my wheels to the track never needed to be cleaned again.
Hmm.
After I would run, we had to run 16 days continuous. And what we're talking about is like 9 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night for the fair, 16 days
Mhm.
continuous. By the time that was done, we never had to clean track again. Now, you take another car, you put a magnet in the bottom of it, like a
Mhm.
well car. Okay.
Okay.
Why is that? The distance to the rail is minimalized. Guess what it's going to pick up? Everybody's mistake of the rail nails and any other
Mhm.
garbage. So your engines are going to end up jamming and things like that because
Gotcha.
that magnetics picks it right up.
Hmm. So where can I buy this miracle stuff?
www.caig.com. I don't make a penny off of it.
I
It's
was
a
thinking you were a stockholder.
I wish I was way back in the day and could get it promoted better, but
So what www what? C
CAIG,
Keg?
KEG,
Okay.
laboratory.com. You don't have to put
I'll look it
laboratories
up.
on there. Don't put laboratories on it. It's just that's what it should come up as, is that should come up with
Okay.
laboratories. But this stuff on old Athearn wheels work. So what do I do now? I put it on all my engines. I got people saying, Ray, what are you going to use for? Because yes, we went through the uh mineral spirits, we went through the alcohol, in fact, the alcohol's breaking down the plastic of the car that they poured in. And so you've got more mess. I mean, NOx, everything else. What you want
They
is,
call it they call it deox.
or deox, yeah, well, NOx. It's not an ox. Um, it's just you've got to have an open mind to do this because what you're looking for is something that's not going to leave a residue, that's not going to affect your operation, and that you don't have to worry about a whole lot.
Right. Right.
Um, but once you go to metal wheels, no more plastic. First person that walks into your layout with a plastic set of wheels, you got to put a red tag across his car saying that's not touching my layout.
Well, I was in N scale for 50 years,
Yep,
and I decided when I made one last move in a new house and everything,
right.
big 2,200 square foot basement. So I
Mhm.
sold all of my N scale stuff
Yep,
and switched over to HO. So this was 5 years ago, and
I
so
gotcha.
I have nothing older than 5 years. So when we talk about old Athearn stuff, plastic wheels, I got
You're,
none of that. It's
yeah,
all
your $2 go to a train show pickup.
right. I don't have any of those.
Yeah, but any of
Um,
your friends come over with any of that, you tell them red tag it.
and as far as the like clean track and uh, engines running, that I've HO's a dream compared to N scale.
It is. It
I
really
mean,
is.
I don't have any issues. I hardly ever clean the track.
Yeah.
I clean the wheels every once in a while, but it just works. It just and I don't have
Yeah.
any keep alives or anything.
No.
Um, but uh,
Yeah.
but uh, but the cars that have resistor wheel sets, those wheel sets get dirty and
Yeah.
they don't pick up. So I'm looking this up. I'm going to ask AI about this stuff,
You
see
can
if
ask
it's
a lot.
legit
I
or
have phone call play.
if it's just a what do they call it, the traveling wagon that goes from town to town selling their.
Yeah, no, this one's been around for a while. They
Okay.
just changed its name from R5 to D5. I
Okay.
found that out abruptly a year ago, and they're based in Hollywood area, LA. I found out. I didn't know where they were based originally.
Okay. Well, I think we're getting a little afield from cats, so
It's
you know
allowed.
it is
It's
related. I don't know
required. In my
if this
case,
is
in my case, yeah,
does this normally get off topic like that?
yeah.
All the time, Daryl. Don't feel bad.
Okay. Well, I do feel bad.
One night we went on LCC stuff for about an hour and a half. So don't feel bad. Don't.
Okay. All right. Well,
It goes
I'm done.
it
I'm
goes
done.
anywhere and everywhere. And everybody learns something every
Right.
single call. So don't feel bad.
Okay. Cool.
I was going to ask you, how often do you clean your wheels?
My locomotive wheels or the
No, car wheels.
almost never. I mean, it's a long I mean, I have like 600 rolling stock, to
Yeah,
go through
that's
and
about what we
clean.
have going is about that much. So
It's
yeah,
like,
understood.
yeah, that's why I'd like to have something. I'm sure this, solution is great and everything, but you still got to have some kind of mechanical. You got to get a cloth and wipe it on there or whatever, and
They were,
or how Q-tip
Daryl,
or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
time
keep them
consuming.
on, but you don't need to put a lock
There
on
should
it.
be
That's for
like
sure.
a section of rubber track or something you can pull it through. I don't know. There should be some kind of a device that as you run trains, as it goes through this section of track, it cleans it. It'll rub off the wheels, the dirt off the wheels or something. I don't know what the answer is, but that would be nice.
Yeah. Hey, Rodney, what does like Aiden do or Brett do there?
well, what they found was the best is we got one of them cheap motor tools from Harbor Freight, like the $12 one, and just put a
Right.
wire brush reel on it. They put the car in the cradle and they turn on the thing and just run it on every wheel after
Right.
they do the X-Acto knife thing, and it works perfectly. I
Yeah.
mean, it really don't take that long, but
Okay.
the
They
brush
just
is
they
yeah.
spin they spin the wheels at 2,500
No,
RPMs.
no, not really. They leave it right in the car, of course, and they hold it with their finger on one and just
Gotcha. I've
rotate it
done that.
slowly as the brush hits it. And
Right.
I would assume that if you did that a lot, it would pit the wheels, but I don't think we're gonna have a problem like that. We're only doing it one
Right.
time. But it cleaned it up, and we have no shunting problems at all. I'm so pleased with that. Everything came together like Rob mentioned before for us. It's just. And by the way, that LCC, that's all those nodes are just daisy chained together with Cat5 cable and connectors. So
Right.
just
Right.
daisy chain the entire railroad, and it works great. I mean, really works great.
Well, one thing I like about the Railcom also with ESU, and I think TCS, is that right? TCS or TSC? There's a
No, it's TCS. You're correct.
right. So I think they have Railcom also, and I think they're coming out with Railcom detectors. But what I really like about the Railcom, other than the train tracking, is you can program on the main super fast, and I don't even use a programming track anymore.
Oh, really?
You can just because when you're programming, you can read like the whole decoder in like 10 minutes. And this is like the ESU decoders, which has like 1,000, different configuration variables. And I think, Soundtracks does too. But it will, I don't know, I assume most of you use like Decoder Pro for programming.
That's
pretty
not
typical.
that's not my department on that. I'm engineering
Well,
and signaling, and that we have a couple other guys that do a big
right.
on it.
Well,
So
yes, I use Decoder Pro.
You can use like you could have the Decoder Pro open for a particular locomotive, and you could be on whatever page of Decoder Pro that you're on, and you could read that page in maybe 15 seconds, and then you can write to it and everything. And this is like programming on the main, which if you don't have Railcom, you can only write to it. You can't read anything. And if you want to read something, you got to put it on a programming track. And this Railcom with Decoder Pro works faster than any programming track I had, except for I have a loc programmer, which is designed just for ESU. But anyway, that's I know TCS has that, it incorporates Railcom as well. So
Okay.
just a plug for Railcom.
Yeah. Well, I definitely on your resistor wheel sets when you did them, what kind of paint did you use between the resistor and the wheel?
Oh, I used this one that by what was the name of it? Bare, Bare, that came in a tube. But that would, like, the tube would dry out over time. So I got this other one. It comes in a jar and it's more liquid. It's a liquid and not
Okay.
a tube. And it works really well. It applies real easily. And I put um, when I put it on the axle, I of course get it on the tip, one end of the resistor. But then I put the paint all around the entire axle, and make sure that it's got a good contact. And because that paste that I used, the Bare, it would dry up, and then lose contact with the axle and stuff. So
Yeah, because we're using is it a carbon-based paint or don't you know?
let me look. I'm trying to see here where on my Amazon. It's just off of Amazon. Let's see. There I go.
I have to go for a bit. I will talk to you guys next round or later.
Okay. Okay, Ray, we'll see ya.
Yeah. Sorry for monopolizing the.
Have a good
you're
night, Ray.
fine. You're fine. You're fine.
So it's called a Silex Core conductive paint. Nanotechnology. Highly electrical conductivity. I can't see it. You said graphite, or what's the other choice?
Well, it's like a carbon or there's like nickel based or silver based. I mean, silver based is unnecessary. I think it's awful expensive and I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. This was for the jar. It was $20. I didn't think that was too bad. And it's basically a 1 fluid ounce, but you don't really use a whole lot for each axle.
No.
I don't see what kind of, if it's what it is. It says it's got some kind of acid in it that etches the metal surface so that the paint adheres to it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but we're so pleased with the stuff we got from MG Chemicals.
What's it called?
It's MG Chemicals is a manufacturer of the paint, and I don't think it's on Amazon. I had to look it up directly on it. Let me see. It's MG Chemicals, and the number is 841AR. It's
Okay.
841AR. It's Super Shield nickel conductive paint.
So how much was it for the bottle?
It was 55 milliliters, whatever that translates into ounces, and it was about $45.
Yeah.
Get a lot of cars out of that, though.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah, you don't use a whole lot. Although I really lay it in there. But I don't know. I haven't used this stuff very long, so far it's been doing real well. It basically I have basically 100% um, success. When I do each wheel set.
It's
Um,
good.
but the key is, of course, how is it going to last over time? As the paint dries out and so on.
Right, right. I believe this is almost an oil-based paint in this thing too. It's got the
Right.
odor and
Right.
properties of it. So we haven't any problems yet. We haven't been using it that long, but we haven't any problems at all.
Right. I couldn't see if it said anything about carbon based, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is because it's black, um, and then if I get anything on my fingers or whatever, it just feels the way it sticks to my finger and so forth. It seems like a carbon type of deal.
Yeah. Well, this is like actually nickel piece, fine nickel ground right
Right.
into it.
Right. Right. Cool. Okay, I think I'm going to have to take off too here.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks again, Rodney. If you're still on,
He's there. He's just muted.
okay.
He's probably sitting there
Yeah.
listening. No, appreciate you coming on, Daryl. It's a pleasure.
Well,
Yeah.
no problem. I appreciate
There,
you.
there's Rodney unmuted. There he is.
Okay, I see him. All right, everybody, take care.
Yep, you too.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Bye. Hey, Rob and Rodney,
Yeah.
you guys use approach
Go ahead.
lighting on your
No.
layout?
No, we're continuous.
Okay, I've been playing around with LCC doing approach lighting on my ABS, just because the layout is small and a lot of signal lights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, I think, well, that's an option on LCC, right? It's not that hard to do. I know we saw it and we dismissed it.
Well, it's little, you got to do in the signal node, you do the logic says if the block is occupied, turn on your facing signal. But to turn off using the signal LCC node, I have to use one of the bulb functions, not the aspect function, but a bulb function. And then that drives one of the signal LED lines high. And that basically then controls the cathode, or, the common to the other three LEDs.
Okay.
Because if you use JMRI on their signal mast, it doesn't affect the real physical mast.
Okay.
Because before I was using one of the aspects of the signal mast and not setting any LEDs on. So it basically, I would send a VIN ID to the signal mast and shut things off. Well, when it does that, you lose the true aspect of the signal.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been playing with. And then I realized by using the signal LCC node to drive the commons, and instead of doing the 12 volt or the 14 volt common that you have those 10 pins, and 5 of them, one's a common, which is in my case 14.4 volts, and then you got 4 LED connections. So anyway, by using one of the LEDs to turn and turn off the other ones, I basically puts 2 resistors in series with LEDs, and it's a weaker green because greens seem to be more sensitive. So what I've done, I add a common NPN transistor with one 20K resistor to the base, and then I use the lunar bulb to turn on, bring everything up to the 14.4 volts so that either red, green, or yellow bulb lights up correctly and bright enough.
Okay, and then so okay, so that's interesting way of doing it. I mean, because but you have when you have your indications, it's when you have ABS, you have LCC do it, and when you got CTC, you have CATS do it. Is that right? If I think a member said that.
Well, my LCC is ABS, and I'm wanting to add approach signaling to the ABS under LCC. And what I've had to do when I run CATS, I had a master command that turned all the masks off so that CATS would control things. And I have a couple different CATS files. One is hold only, and the other one is approach lighting, and I'm just playing around. And I got thinking, well, on my ABS on the LCC, I'd like to do approach lighting, and kind of what I've been playing around with. But I was just saying, this is using the transistor as a common collector and tying it to the 14 volt common of the 10 wire connection makes the works better. The green is now
Okay.
pure green.
Well, all right, that's an interesting way of doing it. Yeah, because we're doing it. We're doing a lot different. We can continue sliding though. So
yeah, yeah. One of the other things, with the signal LCC board, you can control the brightness you get for each bulb.
Right, we know that. Yeah, we use that all the time.
Yeah, and what? So now basically I'm using two of the bulbs, one to turn the common on and off, and I've set it at 255, so hopefully it's running most of the time. And then the other bulbs are lower, like 110 and 70. Anyway.
Rob, we've had some variance with our signals a lot, right? Depending on what it is. I mean.
Yeah, because the green depend upon the physical signals. Now, I was buying, I've got some masks, and then I bought some newer masks, and now the green isn't as green as the original mast. So I went through and tried the yellow and the reds work best for me at 110. And if it's the old style green, I have to set it at 70. If it's new style green, I have to set it at 220.
Okay.
Yeah, we have greens that are down to 32 and another ones are at 255.
Yeah.
I mean, we run the gauntlet on ours. They're all over the place.
all the same manufacturer? Surely not.
No, some of them are custom made, some are bought. Yeah, they're all different. So it's really not consistent.
Yeah. Do you eyeball them and make the adjustments, or do you have a scientific method of determining how bright they are?
Just eyeballing. That's all.
Yeah.
Rob. Yeah.
Because what that ends up being is, if I can't see the difference, why? I had thought about getting some camera equipment and just checking it, but the trouble, one of the things I have to rethink is that if I video anything on it, the bulbs are, on and off. You can see them. They get out. They're not synchronized with the video. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rob.
So the video will show it as being bright and then dark, bright, dark, stuff like that. Even though they're on, it's the way the frame rate on the video is.
Right. I see that in videos all the time, but the LEDs look like they're flashing.
Yep. Well, anyway, I just wanted to ask if anybody was doing approach lighting,
No, we never considered that because you figure you put all the time in the signals, you want to see them.
Well, my layout, it's in a 12 by 14 room around the wall, and there's so many signals that it gets confusing.
That sounds like something we'd like.
Yeah, definitely. That's right up our alley.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Rodney, Rodney Black, I was able to, tinker with this system here. We're going to have a session tomorrow night where I'll probably get my full shot at it. It was funny because Rob told me that it wasn't a problem for him, but you have to throw the switch first in cats and then let it come in before you attempt to clear a signal. And when I was dispatching, we never had that. So it's something I got to get used to. It was just like it called for the signal immediately,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but it still works good with stack commands and all that. I really like this. It really is really great, really great.
Did anybody go to Chattanooga for the convention?
No, NMRA is it or?
Yeah, that what was that, last week?
No, I heard about it. That's about it.
Yeah, I was just curious.
No,
No, I know a friend of my brother's who lives in Nashville. He hosted operating session last week, and he had about 14 people there.
Okay.
But he's like the only major layout in all of Nashville. I mean, other than him, it's my brother, and my brother's is only 22 by 12, and Mark's is triple deck and 50 by 40. It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
So yeah, so he had a bunch of people down there. I saw a post of his, but yeah, that was it. Nobody else that I know of had anything going on involving it.
Yeah. Well, the one in Collinsville, Illinois, the RPM meet, that seemed to be pretty popular too.
Yeah, there's a podcast I listen to where they go out, they went out there for that, and yeah, I'd be interested in one of those if it was close to Buffalo, for sure. We haven't had one over this way in ages, I guess. I guess there was one about 5 years ago or thereabouts, before, I was following any of that stuff. So, but yeah, nowadays, if they were within like in Rochester or whatnot, I would try to go to it.
What is it for?
It's RPM. It's a railroad prototype modelers meet.
Oh,
it's
really?
all it's all the high end stuff, Rodney.
Okay. Yeah, I just wonder what the purpose or the theme of it is.
It depends. Each one, it almost has like a different kind of theme to it. But there's a lot of clinics there, and it's not like it's just a regular train show. It's a lot more nuts and bolts kind of stuff.
Yeah, some pretty detailed modeling too.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very detailed.
Yeah. But like that really high end stuff you see at Springfield, Rodney, that's what like every table is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool to see at least. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're doing it in different parts of the country too, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think the St. Louis one's probably the big granddaddy of them all. But
yeah, being in the center of the country and pretty much, you get people from all over the country to go to that one.
Yeah. Well, guys, I don't have anything else, so I think I'm gonna go try to make a sandwich, have dinner. So.
Yeah, me too. I gotta go over to my buddy's house and install a bracket mass signal.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Always good.
You guys, Steve. Good to talk with you. Have a great night.
You too.
See you, Steve.
See you guys.
Okay, Rodney. Thanks a lot.
A pleasure to talk to you as always, Rodney. Thank you again.
Mm-hmm.
Have a wonderful night. We'll talk next month.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Take care.